So going to Africa every year, into the bush, into the heart of all of this, gives you a sense of that renewal every time you go.
Yes, that's right. I spoke of good for the soul. Good for the soul. By the way, I'm going to Africa for another reason, which is not tourism, is
Hmm.
to teach, to make a contribution. I've been doing this since 1986, actually, both in Southern Africa and also in West Africa, in the poorest country called the Burkina Faso, um, and which is French speaking. That's something I can do. The point is that I think that, and I'm telling my colleagues without any success, that Americans should really take an interest in Africa. We have zero students from Africa here at Duke.
Wow.
I mean, we have African Americans, very few,
Right, right.
but the
From
university,
Africa.
but from Africa, no. There's
Wow.
a organized. It's part of the whatever. I don't know who invented the objectives here of recruiting students from mainland China and from India. And when you do that, you spread the impression that the only smart students come from that direction. Um, I disagree with that. I vehemently disagree. You find students of all kinds everywhere, and especially if you want to find students who are determined, it means hungry to achieve, you find them in the less affluent countries.
Mm.
Yes, and okay, Adrian. In
Yeah.
fact, my wife told me this. We need to go to Africa. My
Wow.
wife. Yes, my wife has a PhD from Berkeley, so uh, she she has known much earlier than Adrian which end is up. And
Yeah.
yes,
It's
so
good to have a guide like that around.
so in my career, Africa is and remains very, very important. Um, and the African universities have been very kind in the sense that they recognize what I do. I have two honorary doctorates from African countries, from African universities. Think I wish my colleagues would listen to wives like my wife to tell them which end is up. Uh, I got news for you. You follow
Yeah,
sports,
they need
right?
that.
You follow, you know what? Yeah, you look at
I do.
all the football leagues in Europe. Uh, are now focused on attracting talent from Africa. They are doing today what the NBA discovered naturally from the 50s, okay? Okay, so,
Yeah.
uh, but at the same time, universities in the UK and France are not exactly full, but they have plenty of students. I'm talking about the doctoral students from African countries. Not America.
Hmm.
Not America. Some would say that that's because these are former colonial powers. You know, they have, meaning the universities in Africa consider themselves connected with French universities and British universities. Well, I don't think it's that because the student would go anywhere where it is a good university, such as Germany or obviously America or Canada, except that that student is not welcome in places, the ones that I complain about, such as the United States. I think I don't
Yeah,
know.
why?
I
Why
don't
is there
know.
such a slim?
This is not about foreign aid here. It's about one individual, meaning an American professor who is actually, by world standards, affluent, can buy a plane ticket without worrying about it. Um, it's about one individual
Mm-hmm.
lifting a finger and making a big difference in the life of a young person who, without that small input, would have no access, no access to the world of ideas and the influence and impact and the uplifting of his own country.
So have you? I mean, have you been able to do that? Are you that
Yeah,
individual
in
for
my own
people?
obviously modest way, that's why I speak of good for the soul. I feel very good about my life, that I'm not,
Yeah.
stuck in a routine that never changes. Uh, every life is actually eventually a routine, but in my case, um, making an effort in in poor countries uh, is um, is a source of yeah, source of satisfaction. And my I did bring an African student to Duke from Nigeria. I laugh. He was the last PhD student from Africa that I've seen here, and I brought him. Yeah, wait a minute. So
Wow.
now this guy is a big professor at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. Uh, and what does he do at the University of Cape Town? This is a top university in South Africa, which means top university in Africa. Um, he brings there a lot of students from African countries. He is a magnet uh, or a sink into which this flow of let's call it interest is arriving, and I'm very proud of him.
Mm.
I'm very proud of him because he does now at the scale of the continent what I think would be good for the globe. Okay,